Welcome students in the series of motion in a plane. So today we will start the topic relative velocity. Let's begin. So what is the mean of relative motion or what is relative velocity? Relative motion. The motion of a body with regard to another body is called as relative motion. Means motion with respect to each other. Motion with respect to each other. Like the motion with respect to A for B and B for A. So the corresponding velocity is called as relative velocity. When two objects like A and B are moving along a straight line, let the position of the particle A and B are XA and XB respectively. Anytime t from the origin O, it will be look like that, where the distance from A to B is vector x BA, and from the origin it will be XA. Similarly, for the B point to the origin, this will be XB. The origin or the position of object A relative to that of B is XAB is equals to XA minus XB. The velocity of an object B relative to the velocity of an object A is VBA, which is equals to VB minus VA. Similarly, the velocity of the object B relative to that of A is XBA is equals to XB minus XA. Differentiate with respect to the time, we get VBA is equals to VB minus VA. For taking magnitude, we are taking here mod. So mod of vector BA is equals to under root of VA square plus VB square minus 2VA VB cos theta, where theta is the angle between A and B. So magnitude of the relative velocity is this. When two bodies are moving in the same direction, the relative velocity is equals to the difference of the velocities. When theta is equals to 0 degree, cos 0 is equals to 1. So mod of vector VR is equals to vector VA minus vector VB. When two bodies are moving in the opposite direction, the relative velocity is equals to the sum of their velocities and theta becomes 180 that time. So as you can see, like if we have two bodies and they are moving in the opposite direction like that, so theta will be 180 degree. Directions as you can see, they will be opposite. And if they are moving in the same direction, so theta will be 0. So in the previous case, we are taken already theta is equals to 0. And in this case, we are taking the direction opposite factor. So here theta is equals to 180 degree. Since we can say that like mod of vector VR is equals to vector VA plus VB. Now talk about some more point about relative velocity. The velocity of a body or the velocity of one body with regard to another body is called as a relative velocity. For example, like consider two cars A and B are moving parallel to each other with the velocities VA and VB. Relative velocity A with respect to B is VAB, which is VA minus VB. As you can see, these both are cars and moving with the velocity VA and VB. Second, relative velocity with respect to B, velocity of B with respect to A, this will be VBA, that means VB minus VA. If two cars are moving in the opposite direction, then theta becomes 180 degree as I told you. And for that case, relative velocity with respect to A or relative velocity of A with respect to B is VAB is equals to VA minus of a VB. Because velocity is a vector quantity, so we are taking the opposite direction and then symbolize that minus. So VA plus VB, we get relative velocity on V with respect to A is VBA, which is equals to VB minus of a VA, comes the values with VB plus VA. As you can see by this diagram, the directions are opposite, for which we have taken the opposite direction of a velocity with respect to each other. Second, if two cars are moving mutually perpendicular direction, for that relative velocity A with respect to B or B with respect to A, that will be VAB or VBA is equals to under root of VA square plus VB square. Next, if the angle between vector VA and vector VB be the 0, then VAB is equals to under root of VA square plus VB square minus 2 VAVB cos theta. As you can see by this diagram. Relative velocity of a rain is a very important question which generally comes in the NEET examination, IIT JEE examination, IIEEE or Kerala Set examination. Like rain is falling vertically downward with velocity vector VR. A man is walking horizontally on a road with velocity Vm. In order to protect himself from rain, he must hold his umbrella in the direction of relative velocity of the rain with respect to him. Vm. So Vr is equals to, we get minus of Vm, resultant vector we will get here. So the resultant vector will be vector Vr minus vector Vm. Next, magnitude of relative velocity of rain with respect to man is vector Vr minus vector Vm is equals to under root of vector Vr square plus vector Vm whole square. So angle made by umbrella to the vertical, that is a tan inverse theta is equals to tan inverse Vm by Vr. Now move on some multiple choice questions. So the velocity of one body with regard to another body is called as average velocity, average speed, acceleration or relative velocity. As a visual student, we know that the correct answer will be relative velocity. Second question will be a car starting from a point travel towards east with a velocity of 36 km per hour. Another car starting from the same point travels towards the north with a velocity of 24 km per hour. The relative velocity of one with respect to another is 12 under root 13 km per hour, 30 km per hour, 12 km per hour or 20 km per hour. So the correct answer is A, 12 root 13 km per hour. Next one is a very important topic, that is the motion of a boat in a river. So relative velocity of the swimmer, like if a man can swim relative to the water velocity and water is flowing with the relative with the ground. So what we have to do, like swim relative to the water velocity and water flowing relative to the ground. So velocity of R, that is of man relative velocity to the ground, Vm, is vector V is equals to vector Vm minus vector Vr. That is a vector Vm is equals to vector of V plus vector of Vr. If swimming is in the direction of flow of water, again swimming is in the direction, student, in the direction of flow of water. For that case, what we are taking, Vm is equals to V plus Vr, and swimming in the opposite direction of the flow of the water, Vm is equals to V minus Vr. Same direction, plus, and in the opposite direction, minus. Now, motion of a boat across a river. Suppose the river is flowing with velocity Vr and the velocity of the boat in still is Vb and W be the width of the river. So he is standing on the bank of the river and wants to cross the river. Then two cases arises. The first case, as you can see, the person take out the water. So case first, cross the river along shortest path. He has on row the boat and OA making an angle theta. So with the upstream and shown, as you can see. So this is a downstream, this is upstream. Okay. The river velocity is in this side and the person wants to move in this side. Okay. For that case, that here OAB is the triangle of the vector. So OA is equals to VB and AB is equals to vector VR. Their resultant is given by OB is equals to V. From the triangle OBA, we find like cos theta is equals to VR by VB. Also sin alpha is equals to VR by VB. Time taking to cross the river will be given by T is equals to W by V, which is equals to W by under root VB square minus VR square. Second, to cross the river in shortest possible time. As you can see, so the boat should be rowed perpendicular to the tank. The time taken to cross the river will be given by T is equals to W by VB. And for that case, as you can see, we are in the direction of motion. So in this case, the boat reaches the opposite bank at the distance AB downstream. This distance AB is called shift or drift of the boat downstream. Drift AB is equals to W times of VR by VB. Now move with the some multiple choice question. A boat takes 2 hours to travel 8 kilometer and back to Stillwater Lake with water velocity of 4 kilometer per hour. The time taking to going upstream of 8 kilometer and coming back is 160 minute, 80 minute, 320 minute or 180 kilometer. So the correct answer for this question is 160 meter. Before starting the next question, I'm just giving you time to solve this. Otherwise, I'll just go through the complete step-by-step answer. The hint is as the boat goes 8 kilometer and comes back, we have add both the distances for going and another is for coming and then use then the proper formula, okay, for the speed. So for the complete solution, student, I hope you did. Few solution I just want to explain over here. It is a completely given that like boat goes 8 kilometer. Okay. So boat goes 8 kilometer and then after it comes back. Okay. It takes 2 hours as the time is given. So first we find the velocity of the boat VB. So velocity of the boat VB is nothing but firstly the distance covered by the boat in 2 hours is 16. Okay. So VB is equals to 8 plus 8 for going and for come back by 2 means 16 by 2 it will be it covers 8 kilometer per hour. Okay, and the velocity of the water is a given. This will be 4 kilometer per hour. Okay, this will be given here. So time taken to upstream is T1 is equals to 8 by VB minus VW. Okay, 8 divided by 8 minus 4 which is equals to the 2R. After solving we get 2R, that means 2 into 60. That means 120 minute. Okay. Now time taken for the downstream. If you noted, I'll just take a screenshot, otherwise no issue. I will solve it here. So time taken for the downstream. This will be for up and this will be for downstream. Okay. So 8 by VB plus VW means 8 by 8 plus 4. This will becomes 8 by 12 in R. So I'm converting into the, so that will become 140 minute. Now, sorry, 40 minute. Okay. Yes. Okay. So now for the total time which boat actually taking, total time taken by boat. Yes, total time taken by t is equals to t1 plus t2. And this comes 120 plus 40, that means 160. So for which the time 160 is the correct answer. I hope you understand, student. There is a no issue. Moving ahead, a motorboat covers the distance between two places on a river and return in 14 hours. If the velocity of the boat in still water is 35 km per hour, if the velocity of the river is a 5 km per hour, then distance of two places. So motorboat covered the distance from two particular distance, okay, means for going and for the coming, that will be 14 hours. Water is still moving, that is 35 km per hour velocity. Now the river is a 5 km per hour, okay. Boat speed is given and now river velocity is given. Now we have to calculate the distance. So options are given: 100 kilometer, 240 kilometer, 220 kilometer, and 180 kilometer. I'm just waiting. Just try to do this question. Yes, so the correct answer for this question is 240. Okay, before stopping, I just want to elaborate something. Wait. Yes, like how it will become. So again, we are taking, oh, yes. So speed downstream will be 35 plus 5, okay. And for upstream, this will be 35 minus 5. This comes 40, it comes 30, and the total time, okay, that will be 14, okay. This will becomes 14 is equals to 14 hour it takes, okay. So x by 40 plus x by 30. This will be 30 plus 40, 70, 120. Okay, so 14 into 12 by 7, this comes the value of x. So something I'm missing. Okay, 1200. So yes, 240 kilometer. I hope now I'm clear. There is no issue in the solution criteria. Students, like these kind of a questions, in the questions are simple. What we have to do, we have just make the command of that question. Because if you understand the language of the question, so you will be not feeling very like, yes, it will be easy. Okay, so just go on the concept zone and try to connect the language, okay, with your brain. So this is all much about for the today's class. I hope you enjoy the session. Thank you for watching this video, student. If you have any doubt, you just ask in the comment section. Thank you and take care of yourself.